Very good morning, student. This is today's second lecture. I am Rakesh Gagneja from Lalpur Khalsa College of Engineering. The name of the subject is PPS and the subject code is BTPS 10118. Okay. So now if you know if we are going with the important topics from the university point of view and just recalling the syllabus and what are the various important things which we keep in mind while we are dealing with the syllabus. Okay, so in this particular video we'll go with the C tokens. Okay, the topic called as C tokens. What is a C token? Let me know you. In C programs, every word and every punctuation is referred to as token. Okay, C tokens, these are basically the smallest building block or the smallest unit of a particular program. Okay, it breaks the program into the smallest possible units and the proceeds into the various stages of compilation, and that particular thing is called token. Okay, so it's not that the token is further classified into identifiers, keywords, constant, string, operators. Although we have finished all those things, uh, we know what is keyword, what is a constant, what is a string, what is a operator, how to define a keyword, how why we cannot use keyword as identifier, uh, how to declare a strings, how we can declare the operators and all those remaining things. Okay, so now in this particular case, in this particular video, we'll discuss about the basic types of operators in detail and what are the various rules, how we can declare a variable, how we can how to what are the various alphabets and characters which we can if we alphabets and character we know in order to define a identifier. And if you remember, if you remember, we know that for in order to write any of the sentence we must know ABC of that particular language. Likewise, in order to write the program we will have the clear understanding of identifiers, keywords, constant, strings, and all those operators. Okay, guys. So the first we have identifier. As you can see, this is example like int amount. Okay, double total balance. Now, what do you mean by that? In this particular example, the name amount and the total balance are the identifiers. Okay, and integer and next return type, which is double, these are keywords. If we have already discussed those things, the keyword cannot be used as a identifier. These are the reserved words in C. But in case of identifier, we can develop any of the name, we can use any of the name in order to identify that particular thing. Okay, an identifier can only have alphanumeric characters like uh, from A to Z, 0 to 9. We can use underscore symbol over there. uh, Letter, we can use letter, we can use digits, small or maybe case sensitive, uppercase, small case, any of the things. Like whenever sometimes you if you remember in whenever we are writing a program in the lab class, many of times I'll come to you and said that you're not supposed to use this identifier because you can either use underscore or you're not supposed to put a space between them. This is something which I'm talking right now. And we have discussed the name of the identifier should be unique. Okay, and the first alphabet, the first character may be alphabet or we can use underscore. Okay, and the most important thing which we never which will never forget, we cannot use keyword as a identifier. Like in this particular example, integer is a keyword. We cannot use integer as a identifier. I cannot write int. If I'll write int, then it will create a problem. Okay, it should not create it should not contain any white spaces. Okay, these are definitely a case sensitive. Okay, So this is the first token which we are discussing, like identifier. So whenever we would define, if we define a any of the identifier, we need to but actually when we are dealing with the programs, we'll define identifier in such a way that it is easy from our reading point of view. We can easily understand the program by looking towards an identifier. For example, if we are declared identifier int sum, it means it will evaluate some. Okay, if we are declared int, we have if we have declared identifier int student, or sorry, int roll number, then it means that there is a particular roll number which is associated with that particular program. Okay, so in order to identify something, and it cannot be keywords and all those things which we keep in mind while we are declaring an identifier. Only thing is that the names which are given to different identities. Okay, and the different identities can be constant, variable, structure, functions, can be any of those things. Okay, okay. Next we have keywords. Now, what do you mean by the term keyword? As we have discussed in the previous slide, we cannot use keyword as identifier in our program. Okay, these are certain reserved words which are already present in the C library, and which are used to perform internal option. Okay, uh, how a compiler will understand, because compiler already know this is a particular keyword, and this is a basic working of that particular keyword, and we cannot use that particular keyword. There are certain keywords which there are basically list of 22 reserved keywords which are present in the C language, like auto, double, break, else, case, enum, character, float, for, continue, default, go to, if, integer, struct, long, switch, return, union, short, signed, unsigned, size of, while, static, all those things. Okay, like for example, if you remember in the previous video, we have discussed about the if else, nested if else statement. And if we just look towards if, we cannot use if. Why? Because if is a keyword. You cannot use int if is equal to 1. No, it cannot be used. Why it cannot be used? Because if is already a reserved keyword. If already have a predefined working, if you can, the working of these keywords are already known to the compiler. Okay, compiler already know that the meaning working of the if is this. If we'll use the if we'll just contradict with that, then it will create some errors. Getting my point, guys? So this is about keywords. And next we have constants. As it has been mentioned, and we have already studied about the various constants, these are the most fundamental and essential part of the C programming language. The constants, basically a fixed value that are used in the program, and the value, it will remain same during the execution of the whole program. The constants are also called literals. Okay, we know that thing. The constants are also called literals. The constant can be of any data type. Okay, and the constant can be of integer, float, can be of the any. Okay, the best practice while we are declaring a constant is using many of the times the best practice to define constant by using the uppercase letters. Okay, so uh, we can use constant keyword. Okay, so some of the time, like constant const, and then we define a type, and then we define any of the identifier, and then we can assign any value to that particular constant. Okay, and the value will not change during the execution of the whole some of the books. And we can also define the constants, like we can say the integer constant, a real constant, single character constant, the string constant, backslash character constants. Okay, so we can also use that particular things while we are developing some programs. So next we have the string. We have already done the whole chapter of strings. Okay, and we have also discussed string while we are dealing with that concept in classroom. The string is a one-dimensional array of characters. The string always terminated by the null character. So as you can see, so we have a string over there. The name of the string is char name, and we have cloud, and then we have the null character over there. Okay, while doing, we can do many string manipulations. We have many string manipulation functions which we can use in order to impart reverse of string, concatenation of string, comparison of string, and many other things. Okay, or if you remember the video lecture of, if you remember, there is a video lecture in which we have manipulated the strings with functions, without functions, with pointers, without pointers, and all that stuff. And if you just want to recall that concept in the more good way, then you can go to video first and then move to this particular video. Okay, so uh, we can whenever there is a string, we definitely requires a combination of the characters, and the character is always, we always declare a character in single quotes. Like you can say C is particularly a character, L is a character, O is a character, U and D, and whenever we combine it becomes a string. Okay, so string is very much useful while we are dealing with higher concepts of C. Then we have operators. We have already finished the whole topic of operators, various types of operators. You have also write that particular question related to the operators in your assignments. The various symbols that are used to perform the mathematical manipulation, uh, with various built-in operations which we can also use. Operator take part in the program for manipulating data variables from a part of the mathematical, or you can say the logical expression. The various operators can be the arithmetic operator, relational operator, logical operators, assignment operator, conditional operator, bitwise special operators. All those things. You have already attempted that question in MST1, that to compare these two operator and just to write a program of those two operators. Okay, just recalling some more concept. I'll say arithmetic operator, like we have used addition, subtraction, we have multiplication, division, modulus, which means a remainder. Okay, in which we define the variable, assign some values, put those values into expression, and just evaluate some result by using operators. And we know that the operator always implemented between the two operand, or there are two unary as well as the binary. Okay, so then we also have the increment and the decrement operator, which are generally used to minimize the calculations, the postfix and prefix. Okay, like if we are discussing about the prefix, then first add one value to the operand, and then the result is assigned to the variable on the left side. Okay, whereas we are dealing with the postfix increment, we first assign the value to the variable on the left side and then increment the particular operand. And the same case with the decrement. Then we have relational operator, is equal to, not, is not equal to, greater than, less than, all those things which we have covered into the deepest of all times. This logical operator, discuss about that particular operator, but just implementing into the if conditions, all those things, the fetching those output, making our program less complex by putting these logical operators into the program, all those things. Okay, logical and, logical or, not operator, bitwise operator, left shift operator, right shift operator, binary and, binary or, binary XOR, ones operator. If you remember shift operator, in which we have in which the student of the first row are shifting to the first student is shifting to the left, and then we have just decide the values, and then we have just implement that concept into the whiteboard, all those things. Assignment operator, assignment, then assign, decrement, then assign, and all those things. Okay, so this is basically we have discussed about the C tokens. Okay, in which the compiler, we can say very simple word, the compiler breaks the program into the smallest units and then proceed to the various stages of the compilation, which is called token. So we have discussed about the token, although the brief concept detail we have already done. So now this is very important part of PPS. This will definitely, there are many chances that this question will definitely arrive into exam, and this is something which will definitely help you in your coming other semesters. Okay, guys, happy learning. If you have any problem, any doubts, please feel free to ask. Thank you.